Welcome to the first video on how to use SketchUp. We will step through how to use SketchUp in our design projects. This first video will show you how to get things set up and ready to roll. All of my instructional videos will be available through my website here, MYP Design, through the Student Resources tab. And on this page I'll have instructional videos on Google SketchUp plus instructional videos on using Google Apps and Google Sites. There are a few more links to a few more cool sites there that are worth having a look. Today's focus will be on using Google SketchUp version 2014. SketchUp version, or Google SketchUp I should say, version 8 is a good program, nothing wrong with it. We are now using what's known as SketchUp 2014. When you first open up the software, you should get a screen that looks something like this. Video tutorials and more. That would be a good link to check and to have a look at to find more instructional videos done by SketchUp themselves. The first thing that we need to do is to choose a template. Now the default template for SketchUp is in feet and inches, and is also in an architectural scale. If you end up with that woman standing in the corner, then you have the wrong template. So we need to change it, please. If you scroll down to woodworking and millimeters, and then click on start using SketchUp. We will be designing smaller objects, not buildings, hence the different template. When the screen first comes up, it should look something like this. And as you can, if you've ever used SketchUp before, it will have a familiar feel to it. There are 3 lines on the page, a blue, green and red one, and they define, or they show where your object is in 3D space. These are known as axes. There's a blue axis as a vertical axis, and 2 horizontal axes if you like, a green and a red, zooming off to the right or zooming off to the left. We'll do a little bit more work with that a little bit later on in this video. Across the top of the screen is your first toolbar, where it has a number of buttons, a number of tools. If you pause the cursor over one, a little pop-up will let you know what that tool does. The tape measure tool measures, for example, and there are a number of very simple tools here for drawing very simple shapes. The line tool for drawing lines and freehand curves, an arc tool for drawing more precise curves, the polygon tool which will draw rectangles, circles or polygons, the push-pull tool, very good for making 3D objects, which we'll be doing, etc, etc. Your moving tools and resizing tools, measuring tools, painting tools. These 2 buttons here for rotate or orbit and pan are very useful for changing the view. So let's get started. So click on the pencil tool or the line drawing tool, and I'm going to draw a very simple square in Google SketchUp here. As I click and drag, you can see that that line is green, meaning that it is running parallel with the green axis. That line there is red, so when it is red, it's telling me that it's parallel with the red axis, not parallel, is parallel. Parallel with the green axis, and you'll notice something interesting as I move further down. It actually infers and asks, it guesses, is this what you want to do? Are you making a square or a polygon or a rectangle? And those 2 little dots will appear at the end of the lines when they're perfectly lined up, and the red dotted line tells me that it's along the red axis. So yes, I know I can end my line there, draw along, it's a red line, so I know it's going along the red axis, and I can draw my rectangle. It's shaded in greyish blue, which tells me that it's a complete shape, and that it also can then therefore be extruded up and made 3D. Any plane or any surface of an object that turns with those blue dots means that we can extrude it up. And there we go. I can extrude out, I can extrude along, and I can make my shape whatever size or whatever thickness that I like. Just zoom in a little bit. I actually recommend that people play with SketchUp just to begin with. If you've never used it before or you're not sure on how it works, have a bit of a play. So let's draw a shape or two, a circle perhaps, on the surface of this square. Use the push-pull tool to extrude it up, or perhaps extrude it down to make a hole in it. Use the orbit tool to change my view so I can see. Use the pan tool to pan backwards and forwards, again, so I can get a good view of things. Perhaps use the offset tool, which is quite a good one. The offset tool, which puts a line equally offset from the outside edge. That can then also be extruded up or down. And so you can quite quickly get some interesting and varied shapes happening. So I do recommend that people just have a bit of a play with SketchUp, see what you can come up with, find out what its limitations are, find out what it can, and meaning find out what it can and what it can't do. And then when you've had a bit of a play, then perhaps come back and we can move forwards and do some other stuff. Okay, so play around with SketchUp, see what it looks like, see what happens when you push and pull and add and subtract things, delete things, and then when you're finished, come back to this video and we can move forwards. Okay, welcome back. This is my I can just delete that shape for you.